Hey, what is up, you sexy beast? Tristan here. I'm bringing you guys ghostly advice, a weekly advice series that I do that I haven't done in like 2.5 weeks, but regardless, I'm going to get right into it. This is where I answer your guys' questions. It's going to be great. Hi, I'm 12 years old and my weight is around 180. I'm emo, I think. I'm in the 6th grade. In 5th grade, I was fun and happy and always full of energy. But on the last day of 5th grade, I sat alone on a bench and just sat. People came up to me and asked me if something was wrong. I just wanted to be left alone. Ever since then, I have been like that. I have been in an awkward stage, which I'm still trying to find out who I am. I have ADHD as well. I have no interest in any girls in my school. I'm not gay, I assure you. Could you please give me some advice? It would take some time to read this and put it on Ghostly Advice. I would be grateful. P.S. My parents know nothing about what is happening with me. Thank you. So, bro, you describe a situation in which you've gone through kind of this, not really epiphany, because I wouldn't say it's a good thing, but this kind of change where you're like, okay, well, instead of craving all this human interaction and everything like that, I just want to be alone. I just want time to think about stuff. I just want time to ponder and do everything like that. And it's perfectly okay to want downtime and to want to be alone. And, I want it, when I want it, right? But you also should want that human interaction. Now, I'm not saying you should want a girlfriend, and I'm glad that you don't, because that'd probably even make you more depressed or whatever. I don't think you're emo. I just think you might be an introvert, which means you don't really like to talk. You're not really outgoing. You don't really like to, start conversations with new people and meet new people. It means you're kind of shy, basically. So I wouldn't say you're emo unless you are. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I wouldn't say you're emo. Anyway, having ADHD is not something you should worry about, but my advice to you, man, would be talk to your parents and go see a therapist or a counselor or something like that at your school. I really think you should tell your parents it's not that bad of a thing. You're just like, hey, look, mom and dad, I just like being alone. I just like, being with myself, but you have to have some sort of balance in your life, right? It's okay to have your alone time, but you should really also have time to spend with friends and time to socialize with people you enjoy socializing with. I'm not saying force yourself to talk to people and hang out with people you don't enjoy talking and hanging out with, but to do it with people you do enjoy hanging out with, because it'll make you a happier and more mentally satisfied person in general. Now, because you're coming to me with this problem, right? You're stating that it's a problem, and I'm here to help you with that problem. So, bro, tell your parents, talk to a counselor or therapist, whichever you're more comfortable with, and whichever they can really hook you up with. I don't know, maybe your parents are on a tight budget. I don't really know. And tell them you're kind of changed and that you've become antisocial, and they'll probably figure out why you become antisocial, and you can work through that because you didn't give enough detail in your letter, in your email, to provide why you would be introverted now and why you're going through this change. You just said, this one day it just clicked off and you just started being an introvert, and so it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can lead to worse things if you aren't getting this positive human interaction. I'm gonna get on to the next email. Thank you, Tristan. I'm grateful you're supportive of the LGBT community. It can be a struggle finding support from people, mostly religious people, go figure, haha. As not only am I a gay man, but I'm also an agnostic atheist, so a lot of people sometimes see me as the Antichrist, which in itself is funny and sad at the same time. Now, before I continue with this email, I would say anybody who's about to comment, haha, fag, or some sort of gay, religious, against homosexuality remark, please get off my channel. I would like you to leave. And if you do comment something like that, I will block you. So that'll be fantastic. But yeah, I'm not going to take that in this video, because this guy deserves the utmost respect and not to be put down for religious indifferences and or sexuality indifferences. Now, I'm going to keep going with this email. Anyway, my boyfriend and I started doing long distance. We would argue about some really small things, nothing too major. I felt as though I'm overreacting and I'm just scared we'll drift away from these little arguments. They're quite frequent and we usually make up after it's still a little fact they're happening a lot more. It's also bickering to one another about the smallest things. I'm not sure if he's giving me hints that he's falling out of love with me, or that the distance of lack of physical contact with him is straining our relationship. I'm not sure if I really should be worried about these small arguments, etc., but I want to make sure I'm ready for this to calm before the storm, if you will, in this case may happen. I need some advice on what I should do. He doesn't like to talk about the fact that we're arguing, and he doesn't like to focus on the negative, which I find better to talk about these things and so we can get them sorted out, which I agree with you. It's just hard to ignore it sometimes when it's really constant. Now, I don't really know, man. You guys said you were in a great relationship, and I summarized this a little bit and I skipped some parts of it, but anyway, they used to live in the same place They were dating for 5 years. Wow. Oh my god. 5 years. That's insane. Okay, sorry. That's going to change my answer a little bit, to be completely honest. But yeah, they're still really close to one another. Now, I don't know how long you guys are going to be away from each other. I don't know how long he's going to be away. I don't know how long that you're going to have to sustain this long distance relationship, because if it is a permanent thing and if it's something you can't work out in the next 6 months, in the next year or something like that, then I'm going to say you should end it. You know, 5 years, maybe not end it, but like take a break. Be like, hey, look, you know, I really do love you, but this isn't going to work until we can see each other again, right? Does that make sense? And I wouldn't suggest dating other people, but I would say that maybe you should either put this on hold or just spend some time off, tell him you need a break, maybe he needs a break, I don't really know. Maybe just be like, hey, look, let's just go a week without talking to each other, right? Let's just not talk to each other for a week and see what happens when we reconnect, and hopefully you guys can figure out why you're fighting. I don't really know how you'd work that out, because it's a long distance relationship. It's not in person. I can't just say, hey, go talk to them in person and work this out, whereas you need to talk to them online and they have the immediate action to either not respond or hang up or whatever it is, or end the Skype call, whatever. And yeah, so man, there's a lot that you can do, but it's really what you want to do, because 5 years is a lot to sacrifice, like I said. So I wouldn't say just end it, but I don't know, maybe you need a break, maybe he needs a break. I'm not completely sure. Obviously it's something you guys should talk about. You're like, hey, ask him if he's still happy in the relationship, because if he's not, then maybe it does need to end. And, you know, I'm not going to say 5 years is just going down the drain, but, you know, shit happens. And so sometimes people are brought apart and it sucks, and you feel like all that 5 years was wasted, but it wasn't wasted, because you were happy during those 5 years. And if it ends now or something like that, then it's not going to be completely wasted or lost, because you had those 5 awesome years and you guys just weren't meant to be together. And so, yeah, that's what I would say to you, man. Take a little break and talk to him about it later. I'm going to move on to the last email. I tried to find 4, but I just couldn't find a good 4th one. They were all about girls, and hey, so there's this girl and I like her, and anyway. I live with my mother, who's 35. She's an alcoholic and drug addict. She's a heavy drinker and an aggressive one. Her boyfriend is also an alcoholic and drug addict. They hit me a lot when they're drunk. I've tried to move out with my grandparents, but they can't take me. They still find her to be a fit parent. The other night we got into an argument and she punched me in the mouth and chipped my tooth. She was drunk, so her balance was off, and her guard was taking a second, and she was taking a second swing, but I pushed her away. She called the cops and I got arrested. If I don't go to bed on time, they come in with sleeping medicine and force it down my throat like a dog and handcuff me to the bed. That's a bit extreme if you are telling the truth. Anyway, I'm 16, I'm 250 pounds, 6 foot 5 inches, and I want to be in the U.S. Marines, so I don't want to get any trouble. I want to get the arrest dropped. What should I do? Please respond. I would appreciate this answer. You can put this on Ghosty Advice if you'd like. Now, bro, what I would say is you really need to come to the law enforcement about this. Be like, hey, look, my mom is a drug addict, she's an alcoholic, and she abuses me, or go to child services or something like that. I don't really know how this process works. Obviously, I've never had to do it, but it would be absolutely insane, but I know you can do it. And so reach out to either of these services and say, hey, look, if you come to my house right now, you will find drugs, you will find whatever, and I will prove to you that my mom is an unfit parent. And if you don't want to try that, if that's not something you want to do, tell your grandparents, man. Tell your grandparents to be like, hey, guys, this is not okay, and look, she does drugs. I promise you she does drugs. Maybe take a picture of the drugs or something, man. I don't know. Prove to your grandparents that she's not a good parent, man. Obviously, you know, take pictures of your bruises and document this shit. Write it down when it happens, how much it happens, stuff like that. Make a little diary. I'm serious. Make a fucking diary about this, man, because this is ridiculous, and you should be able to get out of this situation. Now, what I'd say to you is just, yeah, contact either your grandparents first, the law, or child services, child protective services, and get the hell out of this house, man. You can do it. You're 16, you know, you're almost 18, you're not that young, and obviously you can stay with your grandparents or other family members, and I'm sure you can work this out. It's just up to you to take action, which it really sucks when parents are abusive, and it really sucks that kids have to go through that in general. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say for Ghosty Advice. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to smash that like button if you did enjoy. Comment MGB if you made it to this part of the video. It stands for my music channel. Remember the fact that I love you guys. As always, bye.